So how's the online dating over there in Colombia? Is it a lot better than the States, or give a rundown on that?
So online dating has its pros and cons, right? So I would say this: online dating in the States, I think, is how do I describe this? It's more saturated with guys. I think there was a study that was done recently where they said that there's like 3 guys to 1 girl on Tinder, for example. So there's a lot more competition. I think if you come to Colombia, there's less competition, but at the same time, it's a little bit more dangerous than it is in the States. Because here in Colombia, this is something that everyone who wants to come to Colombia should look into this. It's, there are cases, and this can happen to literally anyone, but there's something called scopolamine, and essentially it's like the dragon's breath thing, or like a date rape drug, where they can sprinkle it like in a drink. I've heard people having it like in a perfume, but typically it's administered via a drink. And what happens is you're in a blackout state if someone hits you with it. However, you're completely conscious and you're walking around and very compliant. So people, a lot of times they'll get robbed, the whole place will get cleaned out. So you have to be careful with who you bring back to your place and who you're going out to meet, and always keep an eye on your drink, of course. So that's always something that's like a slight risk when it comes to online dating. And it does happen. It happens literally every week to a new foreign guy who's out here. So just be careful. I always say this: if you're going to do the online dating thing, there's like 3 things I would say you want to implement. Number 1 is, if you meet a new girl, make sure she's not like overly too like friendly with you, or just down to come over with no objections. Like, that's a red flag right there, right? Number 2, if you do meet a girl, go meet her in public first. Go grab a drink, something casual, whatever. Go hang out with her, get to know her a little bit, and make sure you get her social media too, and have your friends check out her social media as well. Share your location with someone that you trust, if you're out here. That way they know where you're going. And the third step, I actually just talked about this in one of my posts on Facebook, but it's like a pro tip. If you bring a girl home, a lot of these buildings that you'll go to, they have like someone at the reception desk, right? They call it a portero here, which is like your guard, right? A great, great, great tip to stay safe, and it only takes 2 seconds. You just tell the guy, hey, look, man, I'm bringing this girl up. A lot of times they'll have to get her ID and take a picture of her info, which is great. But just to play it extra safe, tell the guy, hey, look, I'm going up to my room with this girl, blah, blah, blah. I'll be walking her down later. And make sure you tell her, I'm going to walk her down. If she's here and she walks out by herself and I'm not there, go check on me just to make sure everything is cool. And, maybe slide him a couple bucks, a little $5, $10 or whatever. So that way he's like, okay, I got you, bro. And that way you're just like super safe, because if something does happen, and she goes downstairs, maybe like stealing your shit, homie's gonna be like, oh, let me go check on the guy. And then, you have security tapes and all this stuff. And, maybe, it's not the end of the world. So I'd recommend that.